Alright, how we doing, folks? It's your boy Margo's kicking it off here. Still, we got a little bit of a voice left. We got a little something voice over here working on the whole voice aspect. We're playing the Creed. It's the Let's Play. This is episode 7, hopefully, maybe 6. I don't know, 6 or 7. It's up there. Should have jotted that down on a piece of paper. I do all my scheduling for the channel now at work. So my actual calendar at my house has nothing on it, which is cool. I mean, it has my birthday. That's what it has, and what else is here? Oh, that's when video games come out. So Batman, I'm gonna get Batman. I'm excited for that new Batman game, Batman Origins. I think a lot of people are gonna skip over, but it's gonna be a good game, man. And then I think for now we're not getting Battlefield 4. I don't know. I've been watching a little bit of the beta, and I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. Maybe it'll change by then. You know, I have to play the beta too. That's what I should do. Stop being a pansy about it. But for now, we're not doing that. And I'm still not even sure if I'm gonna get the Assassin's Creed. I don't know if I'm gonna wait to the next generation. You know, to when the Xbox One comes out, when the PS4 come out, get it for that, or whether I'm gonna actually buy it for this system. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how the money is by then. That's the main issue right there. We're gonna look at that money over there. How about Italians, man? Since we're over here in Florencia still, or Firenze, I think either this episode or next episode we finally get out of Firenze and we get to actually start the game. I mean, the game's already started, but yeah, you'll get to understand fully what I mean by starting the game once you get out of here, because you actually get to learn a little bit more mechanics. It starts expanding. You see how big the universe is. You see just how massive this game could be, which is really why I enjoyed this game a little bit over. I'm gonna get sidetracked here, but remind me to tell you the story about when I got my new barber I got. Just remind me somehow, physically. Drop a comment below. I guess that's the only way you can remind me. Anyway, but that's really when you get the massive scope of this game. So Assassin's Creed 1, you went to Jerusalem, you went to Damascus, and you probably went to a third place that I don't really remember what the hell it was. And yeah, you went there. Yeah, it was okay, but it really didn't feel like anything spectacular about it. You know, they kind of all looked the same, to tell you the truth. The viewpoints were all almost the same. It was a noble concept. I just feel it was. I mean, they were learning. Also, you gotta take that into regard. I mean, hey, it was a platinum hit. It was a success. I'm not telling you it was a bad game. I'm just telling you, when you go back and play it, if you're gonna go back and play an Assassin's Creed game, I'd recommend going to 2, because you're really not missing too much in 1. The storyline's okay, but you're really not missing even too much on the storyline side. And the gameplay is just really gonna take you. It's just gonna take you some time to it's gonna be boring. You're gonna get to points where you're gonna be like, God, I've done this mission 16 different times, except they just changed the skin on the character. Like that's it. That's the only difference. Whereas 2, it's a lot more versatile, and you really get to feel that expansion. And so far, we've all been in Florence. We've only been in Firenze, and we've already got 6-7 episodes out of this, just out of this one spot. I mean, that's almost 2 months worth of footage on here. Now, mind you, I cut it in 20 minutes, so you know, you take the gameplay as you want. But I'm showing you everything I've played. This is not hiding anything. This is not cut through. You know, like on Grand Theft Auto on Friday, just grabbing a mission and throwing it on there. No, this is 100% walkthrough. This is everything that I've done. This is how long it took me to play it. And hey, if you play it faster, good for you. Also, this is my 3rd playthrough of the game. 2nd playthrough, 3rd, no, 2nd, 3rd. I've got it when the game. I didn't get it when the game came out. I borrowed it from a buddy a little bit after that, and I played it. Okay, this is my 3rd playthrough. This is my 3rd playthrough playing through it, even though I don't even remember per se much of anything, to tell you the truth. Not anything of specific missions and whatnot. I mean, I knew some stuff. I knew when, for example, you fly later on in the game. Spoiler alert! When you fly later on in the game, I remember you had to kick somebody to get an achievement and whatnot. That's about all I really remembered about the game. Occasionally, when I was playing through it, I would remember something. I'm like, oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. But it's not a game that you really remember anything. It's not because it's not memorable. It's just because there's a lot of stuff going on through it, and you get to do it in so many different ways that there isn't like a set pattern. You know, even when I went back and played Metal Gear, for example, I don't really remember everything. I mean, I remember that, for example, you fight Ocelot, and then you fight Psycho Mantis, and you fight Sniper Wolf, and then you fight Vulcan Raven. I remember that order. I don't remember the ladders exactly. There's a couple things you do you don't remember. It's all, but when you leave here, when you leave Firenze, which is already a pretty big enough town, like Firenze is a pretty impressively large place, but then you get to see that you have your villa, and then we're going to see we have Venezia, and then we're going to see we have probably some other town that I don't remember right now. There's another town. I don't remember it. Anyway, you have Milan maybe. I don't even know if you go to Milan. I don't think you go to Milan. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, you get all these different towns. And you see just how expansive the game is and the universe is. And it's pretty cool how they manage. It's pretty neat how they managed to work that through. So you're in this bigger world where you can go into smaller worlds and you get to experience. Every small world feels like a big world, and the big world itself feels like a big world, but it never feels overburdened, which I feel some games do that. For example, let's say Fallout 3, for example, which is a game that I love. You could feel overburdened in Fallout 3. Like, you can look at a map and be like, damn, that place is really far away. Like, it's going to take me a couple days to get there. I might need to get some of those, I was going to say V-sets, but they're not V-sets. The things you inject yourself with, whatever the health pack thing is, the Stimax or what the hell they call it. Like, man, it's been a while since I played that game. I started playing through it again, but that game really requires a lot of commitment and a lot of time. And right now we ain't got that. Right now we could blame the MLB playoffs. We could blame what other sports are going on. We could blame NASCAR. Shout out to my boy Jimmy Johnson. We gotta get that W this weekend, man. 48, we gotta pull through, man. Still top 3, but we gotta get over there, take over Matt Kenseth, and football and all that other good stuff that's going on over there. So Fallout 3 is definitely taking a back burner. And I'm playing through some new games too. You know, I played through Grand Theft Auto right now. I'm playing through the Throwback Thursday game, which I'm still not gonna announce. Which that game actually doesn't take too long to beat if you're good at it, which I'm kind of not good at it anymore. I really lost touch in that game. It's gonna be fun. You guys are gonna enjoy that. You gotta like the way you look in terms of that. And hold up, I think we've been coming up over here to mission. I've been yapping for so long here. I just wasn't watching me, you know, climb up towers and whatnot. Doing the menial work that's fun though. It's fun in this game. It's the difference between 1 and 2. These viewpoints are fun. They're normally different. There are some that are the same, which still aggravates me to a certain extent. It still just makes me feel like, what the hell? Like, come on, man, just give me something different. But it's better than having them all be the same. And, you know, it automatically, the game kind of gets washed and kind of gets okayed in my book because of, you know, the big tower that we climbed over here, the enormous cathedral that we climbed over here. And that's expansive. That's something different. That's something special. 50 Cent, Justin. Here we go. We got another one of these hieroglyphic things to discover over here. These are really cool, man. Because aside from all that I told you, well, let's listen to the guy.
Ruled by chance, or is it?
All right. Thanks for that quick little note right there. But if you piece together what he says, you know, towards the end of the game, you really start to learn little things. And aside from like all that, you know, the world, the small worlds and the bigger world, there's also the real world, which oftentimes you forget. And I didn't really go too much into the real world in this time, or when I played through it. But the first time I did, I'd always come out with Desmond, and I'd always check. I think you can check your emails in this game. Oh, maybe it's the next one. But anyway, you come out and do stuff with Desmond, and it's pretty neat. You know, I wanted to know more about Desmond. I think there was a split between Creed fans on whether they wanted more on Desmond or less on Desmond. And if you've played Creed, I'd really like to, and even if you haven't played Creed, just looking through the walkthrough, you know, and seeing how the game's displayed, I'd really be curious to take your opinion on Desmond and his role in the game. I think oftentimes we really forget that Desmond's the main character. Part of it's just because we don't see him enough to be the main character. At least until Revelations, you really don't see Desmond that much in order to be a main character. I think that's something that they worked on. I think what everybody wanted to see from Desmond is kind of what you see in Assassin's Creed 3, where you actually get to do missions with Desmond, and you get to, like, you know, you go to like Brazil to like a UFC fight I think is going on at the time. I mean, that's sick. That mission's awesome. It's one of the better ones in the game, and it's with Desmond. I think that's what everybody wanted to see with Desmond. I think that's kind of the next step that I always thought Assassin's Creed would take, would be go into the, not the future, but into the present, or into the recent present. I think that would be pretty interesting take on it. My periods, if they were going to go and make, if they were going to sit down with me, right? Ubisoft came up to Ubisoft Montreal Studios, came up to me and like, listen, man. I guess they'd come up to me in French, be like, qu'est-ce qui se passait avec les Assassin's Creed? Something along those lines, maybe. Hey man, I took French for a couple years in high school, bro. I used to spit some serious French murder game. Now I'm a little bit retired in terms of the French murder game. We still got a little bit though. We still got a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Get it to the back, get a little bit. Ah man. So if they come out to you and they'd ask me, you know, what time period that they want to do. My first time period that I'd pick would be Egypt. I think Egypt would be perfect for an Assassin's Creed game. Now, you figure out Desmond's part of the story as much as you want. I don't really care about that. But I'm talking about the actual in-game part of itself. Egypt. Egypt, man. You got the pharaohs. You got that whole culture, that whole system. You know, you could be a slave. You could be something along those lines. And it's just so many possibilities in terms of that. There's so much culture and so much history. You could be climbing pyramids. You could be climbing sphinxes. You could be going into those underground tombs. Oh, let's listen to this. It's such a good idea, man. I gotta get that patented.
I think it's best I leave Firenze.
Where will you go?
My uncle Mario owns a villa near Monteregioni.
You're still a wanted man.
I wish my Uncle
What would you
Mario
have
owned the
me do
villa.
then?
I've seen posters all across the district.
It's a me, Mario.
Tearing them down will help the city forget your face. No doubt the heralds also incite the public. Bribe them, and they'll speak of other things. Or you could hunt those who bear false witness against you. They traded dignity for coin. Their loss would not be mourned. Do any of these things, and you should be free to leave.
Alright, we go. Seems simple enough right
I
there.
got the program
Just gotta do
for
these three
tracking
things.
the
It's pretty
ride.
cool,
This little meter will help
because
you know
that's
how
kind of
far
the
you are
essence of
between
playing
notorious
Assassin's
and
Creed, what she just
incognito.
taught you right there. To drop notoriety, you gotta do these three things. It's cool that it's coming from her, but it's cool that it's
This will
introducing the
help you
story.
know if you should
And once
watch
again,
your
it's training you
actions.
along the way
It'll
without
also
you
tell
really
you if the
noticing
notoriety
too
level
much. It's
is part of
training. Obviously, if you
Ezio's
played it
memory
before,
or
it
not.
is still training. You really want to get to the meat and bones of the game. When you're first playing this, especially for people that haven't played an Assassin's Creed game, this really helps you get on pace. And the further ones don't really do this as much until you get to 3. 3 they kind of like reset and they're like, all right, let's start all over again. Let's teach you everything again. And rightfully so. You know, it's a game, you got to find the balance between that and whatnot. You know, introduce new fans while not boring the old fans. I think they walked that line pretty well. But Egypt, man, the Sphinxes, the culture, the time period. There could be so much going on. There's not too many guns here. There's a little bit of bow and arrow action. Not too many guns. That's why I'm very curious to see how Black Flag's gonna work out. I don't think guns are going to be too predominant in the game. I think everyone who's playing it always wants to use the hidden blades. I mean, that's kind of your go-to weapon. And that's my main issue maybe with going a little bit to the future, is that everybody will be using guns. But I think you get to some hand-to-hand combat situations and the stealth situations that still apply over there, especially on modern structures. It's different ways and different things of viewing it. Similar to how, for example, they made you in whoopsies. Get stabbed in the back, my man. It was my notoriety, except for all these goons behind me. Similar to how the trees function in Assassin's Creed 3. You know, it was a little bit innovative, and they mentioned that they were going to do it over here in the Mohawk Valley, and they mentioned they were going to do it over here in the northeast of the U.S. with that time period. Everyone first saw it in the first comment. I was actually in a classroom when we dissected the trailer, and I remember that day when I saw that trailer. I was so hyped. I was like, yo, and honestly, until this Black Flag trailer, the Black Flag trailer, I didn't really feel that it was alright, but it wasn't anything crazy. But the previous ones for the other games, and I'd suggest go YouTube them. They're amazing. They are works of art. They're exactly what you need from a trailer. They get you so hyped. When I watched that Mohawk Valley trailer, man, I was so pumped. And I remember I was taking a video game class at the time. And yeah, I know they teach that. It's kind of crazy. And I was taking a video game class at the time. And we went in there, and the teacher was like, hey, is there any big video game news? I was like, yeah, man, Assassin's Creed trailer, blah, blah. Now, mind you, this was me. Like, there was 2 hot chicks there, which I was kind of always in awe about. I wish I'd marry them or something. I mean, if you got a chick who like likes to play like Fallout 3, like just marry her like right off the bat. It doesn't matter if she's successful in life. It doesn't matter if she's good looking. It doesn't matter if she knows how to cook. It doesn't. Uh-oh, a policia coming for me. It doesn't matter anything. If she likes Fallout 3, just marry her on the spot. I should have married that woman, my girl Jen. Love you, man. I'll forever hold you in my heart. Anyway, now that I spilled the beans on my girl Jen, which I don't think she watches the channel. I hope not. Well, if you do, hit me up, y'all. Message me. I'll send you my digits. All right. Actually, I might have a number. Maybe I should text her. I don't know what she's been up to lately. Blonde hair, very cute little girl, always happy. Big Fallout 3 fan. A little bit strange though. She was really into robots. That's kind of what threw me off. She was really into like robots and stuff. And like, I'm not saying like, ooh, I like robots. Like, no, like she wanted to like make robots. And she said at one point in her life she considered moving to Japan to like get a career in making robots. Which I don't know. There was part of me I just thought that was racism, and there was another part of me I just thought that was just the dumbest idea I ever heard. So that might be why me and Jen aren't married. But aside from that, man, she likes Fallout 3. I mean, you can imagine how much. Oh, all right. Anyway, going back to Mars. So I was really hyped about that trailer. It was awesome. And it was me, those 2 chicks, and probably, you know, like 13 guys who are about as hipster as you could possibly get. You know, their favorite game is like Fez, and if it's not an indie game, it's trash. And if it actually like gets backed up with like AAA money, it's the worst thing on earth. Some of those people. Which indie games are great, man. I really like Fez. It was great. I love indie games. I just don't understand the hatred between, you know, It's like, if I like Fez, I can't like Call of Duty. Like, the hate that Call of Duty gets is ridiculous. But once you get on top, you get the hate. Same with Assassin's Creed. So I remember I told them about the trailer, and everyone's like, oh, God, it was horrible. I'm like, man. I looked around, I'm like, well, I'm kind of outnumbered, like 15-1. I don't really want to take on this fight over here. But the teacher was like, oh, let me watch it. I haven't seen it. So he put it up over there in the projector. I was hyped. I was hyped as hell. And then immediately everybody else was like, well, what are they going to do? There's no buildings. I guess you can't climb anything. You're just going to be running around like an idiot. Well, you know, how are they going to interject that into the storyline? Is he going to kill George Washington? If he's a Native American, he knows that they got to be taking his land. Good. I was like, come on, man. Like, why are you hating on the game? We haven't even seen it yet, man. Have you just not seen the trailer? How baller this is? Like, be excited for once, man. You got to let it take over. Let the excitement take over the body. Feel the trailer. But they weren't into it, man. It was disappointed. While we're on to story time, let me tell you about my new barber. So I had to get my hair cut right. For all you that don't know, I moved. And part of moving is, you know, you got to find a new barber. You got to find a new grocery store. You got to find, you know, new stuff. So I get out of work late. Obviously, there's no barber shops open. Today I came home and it was a little bit relatively early. It was like 6. I was like, well, maybe there's a barber shop open I could go into. And literally, I walked by this place and it was called the Barber Shop. So I was like, okay. I was like, well, either unless they just constantly play the barbershop movie, odds are that this is probably a place where they could cut my hair. I walked in, nobody there, not a soul. Shouted like, hello, anybody home? Old dude comes out, kid you not, comes out with like one of these things that they give you when you like hurt your legs, man. Comes out with a oh man, I can tell you the word in Spanish is muleta. It's always happening. I remember stuff in Spanish but not in English. You know those things, man, those like little things with the, like the sticks, you know, that they hold on to. Not a cane, but you know, that you put on the, like your arm when you, whatever, man. He was halfway crippled, alright? I can't remember what the half damn word is. I'll probably remember from Metal Gear, so watch tomorrow and I'll tell you what it was. You know what I'm talking about anyway. So he comes over, crutches, there it is, whoop, there it is, whoop, there it is, say well, whoop, there it is, oh, whoop, there it is. Oh man, I haven't even started drinking yet tonight. Imagine after I start drinking. So he came over there with like one crutch like under his arm, and I'm like, oh boy, old fella. Probably, well, listen, he watched the Estefano play, he's a soccer player in like the 50s. So I mean, this guy's, he's at least 70, probably pushing closer to like 80. So I'm not gonna have a barber for too long, but while I have him, this guy's sick. Old Italian dude, speaks like 6 words of English, and that's like about all I got out of my man. He asked me how I wanted my hair, then I told him I wanted it short and just make it look pretty. He laughed, he's like, okay. And then he did magic over there. Hair looks great. Came out great. We talked about soccer the whole time. Wonderful dude. My main man's named Pasquale. Oh, beautiful work. He gave me a lollipop at the end. And then he also invited me over if I wanted to come watch the Roma Inter game, which is actually going on probably as you're watching this video, if you watch it on Saturday. I told him no because I got to go to work, but that's pretty dope right there. I appreciate that. He also told me a good bar to go watch the soccer games at, which is also very appreciative. So my man Pasquale is high on my list in regard of human beings, especially today. Good guy right there. Not a lick of English. And tell you what, man, he did a hell of a job even on that damn crutch. I can't even imagine if he isn't on the crutch. But next time I go in, he's probably going to be on a wheelchair. So I don't know. Hopefully he can just wheelchair his way over and still cut my hair. Sharp, man. Sharp. My man was on point, son. Because I just told him, I was like, listen, man, I was like, just buzz it off, son. I don't really care. I just want to get rid of all this hair. He's like, no. No buzz. I cut. I'm like, okay, you cut. Let's cut right into this house over here and let me shut up for a little bit.
Bentornato, Ezio. Were you successful?
Yes. Madre?
Ezio! Where have you been? They wouldn't let us leave. And Mother, oh, she hasn't spoken a single word since we left the house. Father will need to sort things out. Where is Father? And Federico? And Petruccio?
Yeah, Petruccio.
Something's happened.
What do you mean? No, it's impossible.
Claudia.
No.
I did everything I could, Piccina.
So sad seeing pain at such an early age.
Listen, right now what matters is getting us all someplace safe. But to do that, I need you to stay focused. Do you understand? Good. Will you watch over Mother for me?
There it is, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Covered a lot of bases right here. I'm actually
we
a little
are
bit
ready.
tired.
Thank you again.
Next week, we're going to
For
Monteregione. Visit my
Stay safe,
Uncle
Enzo.
Mario. It's going to be a great time.
I suspect
Hey,
the
this
road
game's so
ahead
good.
is yet long.
I'm hyped. Have a great weekend, everybody. Love y'all.
Buongiorno, Ezio. How could you leave Firenze without saying a proper goodbye?
Ezio!
What do you want, Vieri?
So many things. A larger palazzo, 2 new steeds, a prettier bride. Oh, and yes, your life.